Hi, I'm Luke, founder of Luke Circle and managing partner of Ridgeline Ventures. I want to talk to you today about an interview tip that I think is the most important interviewing skill out there. And if you do this one thing, I am confident that you're going to transform your interview results and be viewed as a very strong candidate. So I'll tell you exactly what that is in just a minute, but I'm going to tell you it stems from one question that is one of the most common questions that employers and recruiters ask. And that question is, tell me about your career background or your career progression, or tell me about your last job. And now the most common way for candidates to answer that question goes something along the lines of, I did this. These were my roles and responsibilities. For example, I was a sales rep and I grew my revenue, my account revenue by 15% year over year. Or I was head of the marketing department and I managed 4 people and we did a brand redesign project and I managed a budget of $600,000. So they speak to what they did and what their roles and responsibilities were. But what they miss is the most important part for employers to really see. And that is, what did that person take away and learn and gain from that experience, from those roles and responsibilities? And the reason why it's so important to communicate what you take away and what you learn from your job is because it helps employers understand and see very clearly how you can make an impact at their company if they were to hire you. So let me give you an example of what that looks like. When you're asked, tell me about your last job or your career progression, instead of talk about your roles and responsibilities in a very succinct and brief manner, spend more time talking about, in a succinct manner, what are 3 things that you took away. So for example, in my last role, I did XYZ, and 3 important things that I took away from that were, number 1, I learned how to manage both upward and downward in a very effective manner and shield my subordinates, from people who reported to me, from some of the upward pressure, as well as set expectations properly with my superiors. Number 2, I learned how to negotiate with vendors very effectively in a manner that drove cost out of the system and achieved a win-win, because I was constantly in negotiations. And so that was a very important skill set for that role that I'm going to be able to take into the next job. And number 3, I learned how to build a team that really excels and that people want to continue to work for, and that involved personal development plans and performance improvement plans that really allowed people to see their path in the company in the future. So that's a very quick example off the cuff of how you can speak to not just what you did, but 3 things that you took away and skills that you're going to now bring into your next job. And so as you prepare for your next interview, I want you to think, instead of focusing on just what you did, write down 3 bullet points for each job of what your key takeaways and learnings are. And again, instead of focusing on what your roles and responsibilities were when you prepare for your interview, jot down 3 quick bullets of what you took away from that job, what you learned, and what you gained that you'll be able to bring into the next job. Now, I hope that helps. I'm always very impressed when candidates do that performance technique to me in interviews, and I promise you it's going to help you stand out. So thanks for being part of Luke Circle, and take care. Good luck.